People, welcome back to Politics Watch. This is Sir P. Now, today we're going to do something a bit more positive. We're going to talk about Jamaica's unemployment rate and how it has fallen to a record low figure of 7.8%. Now, last year at the same time it was 9.8%, so it's fallen 2 percentage points within a year, and that is actually very good. According to the new figures that were released by Statin, the labor force increased by 29,900 people, right? And out of that, 18,200 were males. In other words, 18,200 more men at work this year than this time last year. People, that can only be a good thing. Those 18,200 people would have been idle hands. And what your granny tell you about idle hands? Now, this is the thing. A lot of these numbers I'm seeing are very promising, right? Anytime politicians do anything bad, we don't hesitate to call them out. So, at the moment, the current government, if this is the numbers they're getting, we have to give them some credit. I've never really called out Andrew Holness and the JLP government for what they're doing regarding the economy. Historically, JLP tend to be a bit more focused on the economy. Them tend to know about money and them things. So this really isn't that surprising. But nevertheless, we have to talk about it. I know some people might say, yeah, well, it's not that good, this and that. But remember, people, if it had increased, if unemployment had increased by 2%, then we'd have a big problem, right? So, what is due to Caesar, give to Caesar, right? Now, the only real negative I see from these numbers is that really and truly the sectors that are booming, where most of the jobs are going to, are places like, well, construction, which is obvious because there's a lot of roadworks going on in Jamaica. A lot of these young men who are going into these construction work, we're going to have to figure out what's going to happen to them after the road them done build, right? Because these are not full-time permanent jobs, right? Once the road them done, is the unemployment figure going to shoot back up? I don't know. We're gonna have to find something to do with these young men. But at least they would have the experience and they can transfer it to another job. Now, another thing is about 18,000 people are now extra got employed in the service workers and shop and market sales workers. So in other words, a big chunk of the labor force is going into retail. In a foreign, them just call it retail. People work in a shop and them things, right? But the only disturbing figure that stood out to me was there was a major decrease in skilled agricultural and fishery workers, right? We had a decrease of about 8,800. Now, the reason why this is bad is because skilled agricultural workers are not as easy to find as somebody to work in a shop, right? If you want to get somebody to work in a shop, all the person have to be is just literate and numerate. And nowadays you have cash machine will work out everything for you. You have these cash registers that tell you how much change to get the person. So really, you just need to have some, you just need to be, just have sense, basically. It's not like back in the days where you had to be good with maths and you have to work out things in your head. Nowadays, a lot of that is done for you. But skilled agricultural workers and fishery workers, these are jobs and careers that take years to develop and years to become experienced. So the fact that they are declining rapidly, that is not a good sign, right? The Minister of Agriculture needs to look at this because and figure out why so many people, 8,800, that's a lot of people to drop out of the workforce in that industry, right? We can't afford to have these people unemployed, right? These are skilled workers, right? So this is, for me, this is the only real figure that stood out to me, the fact that so many people in that industry are now out of a job, right? So we need to get the Minister of Agriculture to address this. But overall, things seems to be going quite good from the economic point of view. But in my opinion, Jamaica's economy has always had signs of potential in it. Jamaica has always been a country that has the potential to boom. Jamaica has the potential to be the best performing Caribbean country now. We know this. The things that hold back Jamaica 10, 20 years ago are the things that hold back Jamaica now. Crime, corruption, mismanagement, etc. Governance. These are the things that are holding back Jamaica now. And imagine if we had a culture or a society that was safer, more transparent, and then a lot of the Jamaicans who live in UK, Canada, America, who have experience working with companies like Dell and IBM and Apple and Google and whoever, decide they're coming back to be a part of the Jamaican workforce. Jamaica would be a real powerhouse, a real powerhouse in the Caribbean. Even with all the oil of Trinidad have, Jamaica could easily outperform Trinidad if we had these things under lock and key, right? So this is why we talk about crime so much, because crime is a deterrent. It is a deterrent to locals who want to start business, but they're afraid of extortion, they're afraid they want to get robbed. It is a deterrent for Jamaicans who live abroad, want to come back home, but they are afraid, because every time they turn on the news, all they see is destruction, right? So crime and corruption must come down for Jamaica's national wealth to go up. Let me say that again. Crime and corruption must come down for Jamaica's national wealth to go up, right? They have an impact on each other. Trust me, a lot of people want to come back to Jamaica. A lot of people love them country and would love to come back and set up a business. A lot of people have the capital to set up a business in Jamaica. They have the money put on, They have the money in their pocket right now. They come back to Jamaica. And they have the knowledge and the experience. But because of how them say how the country are run, they won't. A lot of Jamaicans right now have something stashed under them bed. They can start a business and employ 10, 20 people tomorrow morning. But they're afraid. Them here want to the Monday who never pay the extortion. Them here want to the Monday over there so, and the Monday down there so. And it puts them off. And not only that, those that are trying to establish something, when them come up against certain 116 octanes who use their own form of corruption to block off the marketplace and make it harder for small businesses to enter and compete against them, it turns people off, right? Because 116s play a major role, right, in keeping out smaller businesses from entering any market with them, with they're active, right? They're the ones who lobby government to bring in certain bureaucracy and red tape that are hurdles for small and medium-sized companies, right? But the 116, they have all the lawyers in the world. They have the biggest lawyer, the best accountant, the best at everything. So any law government bring in, the 116 can hop over it. A matter of fact, when government write the law, he's writing the law with the 116 in mind. He's saying, oh, we can't do this because this is going to hurt so and so, right? This is why 116s love to sponsor politicians. The problem is small businesses don't have the capital or the know-how or the friendship to overcome certain obstacles, right? So people have the idea, them have the money, they're willing to work hard, but when them go in the marketplace, them come up against a bunch of red tape, right, and a bunch of bureaucracy that is like a big concrete wall before them, and they try to smash against the wall, and they can't get through it, so they give up. A lot of small businesses in Jamaica fail, not because the person who started the business don't know what they're doing, or don't have the passion or don't work hard, but because of red tape. And it's all by design. It's by design to keep the 116s at the top. Because the only way you can challenge a 116 is if you have the kind of resources that they have. Right? That's what they use. As Buddhists say, rich man's wealth is in the city. People, this is Politics Watch. Patreon Squad, Shirley D, Selves P, King Jazz, Scorpio Goddess, everybody big up himself. Until next time, bless up.